As the presidential election nears, both candidates hitting key battleground states today.
Hundreds of Trump supporters are driving around Erie County in hopes of helping re-elect President Donald Trump.
A local poet with an important message tonight: get out and vote.
Live in high definition from your news leader, this is Jet 24 Action News at 11.
New tonight at 11, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden hitting the campaign trail in battleground states this weekend. Alex Perche tells us Trump is trying to turn one state red after losing it to Hillary Clinton in 2016. Jet 24 Action News is your local election headquarters.
President Trump in Nevada receiving a blessing as he attended church services in Las Vegas.
I go to many churches and I love going to churches.
In Michigan yesterday, the president criticizing the state's Democratic governor Gretchen Whitmer to chants of "lock her up."
Lock them all up.
Just days after the FBI revealed it had uncovered a plot to kidnap her.
And then I guess they said she was threatened. Right? She was threatened. And she blamed me.
Governor Whitmer responding this morning.
The president is at it again and inspiring and incentivizing and inciting this kind of domestic terrorism. It is wrong. It's got to end.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi urging voters to head to the polls.
The biggest antidote to his poison is the vote.
RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel says it's inappropriate for the governor to blame the president.
These were sick individuals. There was no political affiliation. They were attacking the Capitol as well.
Joe Biden on the campaign trail in North Carolina this afternoon at another drive-in rally. Supporters socially distanced in their cars.
Folks, as my coach used to say in college, it's go time. The choice is clear as it's ever been, and the stakes have never been higher.
Long lines forming as early voters fled to polling locations.
Never seen a line like this. Never seen as many young people.
With just 16 days until Election Day, more than 26 million Americans have already cast their ballots. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Hundreds of local Trump supporters were making some noise today as they try to keep him in the White House for 4 more years. Star Bodie has more on the car parade around Erie County and why some supporters believe today's event is crucial come election time.
It's the final stretch until the presidential election, and Trump supporters are taking initiative to help with President Trump's re-election.
We remind ourselves that what we're doing it matters, what we're doing is important, and that our country's going to be better off if Trump gets reelected. And that's it.
Hundreds of supporters are taking a stance through a car parade traveling throughout Northeast, downtown Erie, and the peninsula. This comes after Erie County went red during the 2016 election, and organizers believe this parade is a way to help declare victory again.
So we want to make sure everybody knows in this town that the silent majority is not silent anymore. We're here to make noise. You know, it's the big election in my lifetime. This is the biggest one I can remember, so we're all excited and ready to go vote.
Supporters honked and waved their flags across town in hopes of bringing attention to others who are still questioning who to vote for. Trump supporters believe that this parade will speak volumes, especially days before President Donald Trump makes a campaign stop in Erie.
This election isn't a popularity contest. It's not about who's the most likable guy. It's about who can really get America back on its feet, and that's exactly where we were before the pandemic.
President Trump is expected to make a campaign stop in Erie on Tuesday. Star Bodie, Jet 24 Action News.
Crews are already hard at work preparing for President Trump's visit to Erie. The commander-in-chief will be visiting Erie International Airport at 7 p.m. on Tuesday for a Make America Great Again rally. Doors open to the rally at 4 p.m. and you can find a link for tickets on our website, yourerie.com. Be the voice of change. That's the message an Erie poet is sharing to the community to get out and vote. Dozens of people gathered at Basement Transmissions to watch a short film by Abdullah Washington called Be the Voice of Change. Several other artists and speakers were there too. Washington's message is to encourage those minorities and young people to vote. He believes that even in the world of social distancing, it's important to get communities together to encourage those to vote.
It's an important thing for us to do this time of year, considering everything that's been happening locally and nationally. It's all just about getting people, particularly younger people, interested in voting.
This event was also streamed live to the community that couldn't attend in person. Time is running out to register to vote in the 2020 election. Tomorrow, Monday, October 19th, is the final day to register to vote. If you fail to register, you fail to be heard in this important presidential election. There is still time to get a mail-in ballot, or you can vote in person Tuesday, November 3rd. If you have questions, call the Erie County Elections Office at 814-451-6275. For all your election news anytime, head to our website, yourerie.com. With no definite word on when a vaccine for COVID-19 will be available, the president announcing a new partnership to distribute any future vaccine to nursing homes. ABC's Trevor Ault tells us governors have questions about how a vaccine will be allocated.
As we head into the holiday season, new cases of coronavirus are on the rise in 39 states and Washington, D.C. Much of the country logging dire numbers, with hospitalizations climbing in 41 states and deaths rising in 14. President Trump announcing on Friday a partnership with Walgreens and CVS to facilitate the distribution of a vaccine to nursing homes.
We would send teams of pharmacists and pharmacy technicians to nursing homes, and people would basically be providing their consent to be vaccinated, and then we'd go through the nursing home and provide that initial vaccination.
There's still no definitive timeline for when a vaccine will be available. The National Governors Association has sent a list of 36 questions to the Trump administration about the implementation of any future vaccine.
How will the vaccine be allocated to states? In other words, are you going to allocate it by infection rate? Are you going to allocate it by number of cases of COVID? Are you going to allocate it by population?
New York is now using block-by-block COVID cluster tracking, the state rolling out record testing and seeing a low positivity rate. Dr. Anthony Fauci, in an interview with CBS 60 Minutes, says a national lockdown would only be necessary if the situation became really, really bad, acknowledging everyone is fatigued with restrictions.
We want to use public health measures not to get in the way of opening the economy, but to being a safe gateway to opening the economy.
And public health officials like Dr. Fauci are already asking Americans to scale back their plans for Thanksgiving, as even smaller gatherings are being identified as a major source of viral spread. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
Coming up on Jet 24 Action News at 11, a local company has created a new app that could save lives. That's after a first look at the weather. Hey, Craig.
Brian, Monday starts kind of murky. The new week starts kind of murky, but wait till you see this